my darlings, I hope you're all doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. I want to quickly address something. I've lost a nail. It was really traumatic. Don't even laugh at me. But like, this is the first time in a long time that I've actually lost a nail. I had a very traumatic and brief accident. I had something that I love so much betray me, and that was my fridge. Yes. Let me paint this picture for you. It's 3 a.m. You're thirsty. You walk downstairs. You go into your kitchen. Nice, long, romantic walk to the kitchen at 3 a.m., okay? You go to open your fridge and you kind of go through the handle because my fridge is behind, like, cupboard doors. And I, I don't know, I angled it weird. I angled it so weird. It was 3 a.m. Leave me alone, okay? And I just hit my nail really hard against my like fridge door. The pain, I can't even, like, the whole nail just popped off. It just popped off. It went flying and I was just like, huh? And then the pain started freaking setting in and oh boy, like I ripped my nail underneath and all sorts. Luckily it's not like bruised or anything because it could have been so much worse, but oh, the pain. They are a hazard, honestly. Like, not only are they dead ass sharp, like these are, well, they're a bit blunt now because I've had them for like 3-4 weeks. My next nail appointment is in literally like 2 days. And yeah, by the time this video goes out, I would have, had them fixed and changed over and what have you. But so can I get some thoughts and prayers down below for my poor little pinky finger? Like, look at it. I'm such a nail girly. It honestly throws me off. Like, I hate it. I want to kind of just walk around like this. Like, hi guys, how you doing? But yeah, I had to address it because I know it looks freaking weird as hell. But nail appointments in, hands. Yes, we're taking them all off and we're starting again because the underneath, you probably see it in my videos, but the underneath, my natural nail is so stained from all the fake tan I was wearing over the summer. So it's a case of like we take them off, cut down my actual nail, get rid of all the staining because they are so stained. It's so ugly. Anyway. And yeah, if you want to see what my nails look... What am I doing? What was that? I was meant to say anyway to move on to the actual video, but then I started talking about my nails again. Like, wait. Sorry. Look like up close, then go to my Instagram page. I always, every fresh set, take a very nice high detailed picture so you can see them. So today's video is inspired by a few TikToks I've been seeing recently of people reading from this Reddit subreddit page called Today I Fucked Up. And these types of stories are incredibly entertaining to me, and I thought, ooh, let me have a look on this subreddit, see if there's anything tattoo related, like, let me see if we can read some stories together and, look at this tattoo fucked upness. And there is some tattoo related stories, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be here. So I had a quick scroll to see how many there was. There's quite a few. So I was like, oh girl, fire up the camera, let's go. We need to read through some of them because some of them seems so interesting to me. But the first one we're going to read is, Today I fucked up by removing my girlfriend's tattoos in Photoshop and realizing I'm not as attracted to her as I thought, and now I'm terrified for the future. Oh no, like, red flags already. Am I right? Enjoy my fuck up story. Oddly enough for this sub, it happened yesterday. Sorry for any mistakes, I'm not a native speaker. Me and my girlfriend exchange nudes frequently. Anyway, they never leave our phones or computers and we trust each other on that. I like to mess around in Photoshop as a hobby and oftentimes I use my girlfriend's nudes for practice. I'm legit not a person to take nudes. I just feel like nobody should be seeing this in a picture naked, you know what I mean? Like, no. But like, if I found out Tom was fucking around with my nudes on Photoshop, I'd be so pissed. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Change the lighting, remove, add things in the background. Sometimes I edit her into a Playboy cover for a laugh. Okay, so it's not like super editing, it's just like basic editing, I would say. A few days ago, I bought a new laptop as my old one died some time ago. I installed Photoshop on it yesterday and wanted to mess around with it. I found some tutorials online about Photoshop tattoo removal and decided to give it a try. Seeing as I had no work the next day, I also decided to get high. No. I gathered some pics of my girlfriend and went to work. My girlfriend has a big tattoo on her upper chest, covering her collarbones and the upper part of her boobs. 2 smaller pieces on her hips, one between her shoulder blades, and some smaller ones on her legs and arms. When we met, she already had all the major ones, and she did 2 more while with me. It has never bothered me. I thought her tattoos are cool, but before falling for her, I never imagined myself to be with such a heavily tattooed girl, but I hadn't really thought about it since then. Now, I edited the pictures starting from the smaller tattoos and eventually getting rid of the big chest one. I followed a tutorial and made a damn good job in my opinion. I ended up doing 3 pics, and when I was admiring my work, I got very well... I got hornier than I ever had in my life. I've always considered my girlfriend's body to be a 10-10. That combined with her wonderful personality made me fall in love quick and hard. I didn't even think to wonder how she would look like if she didn't have the tattoos. Well, now I know. And to me, she would look infinitely better. I regret using Photoshop a lot last night. She obviously can't get rid of the tattoos. Not only would it be horribly expensive, but also she really loves them. Also, I don't think it's my place to even ask that. She's also a tattoo artist, oh my god, and scheduled to have a half a body tattoo in 2 or so months by another artist who she's a great fan of. I won't ask her to skip the tattoo. She's very excited about it and has been saving up for a long time. I was never particularly happy that she was getting it, but I was just glad she was excited, and again, it's her choice what she puts on her body. Exactly, correct, facts. Now move on. Now I realise I just don't like tattoos on her. I thought a lot last night and realised the signs were there, but for some reason it has never occurred to me. For example, when we chatted about her tattoo plans, I asked her not to tattoo her tummy too soon because I like how soft it looks on its own. She would say in that a few years I will have a wife covered head to toe in ink, and I always laughed it off because I didn't want to think about it. I also had a shameful realisation that I've been enjoying sex a lot more since we started to do it woof woof style. Oh god, why did I say that? Like legit, why did I woof woof style? Jail immediately. Oh girl. Ooh. Oh, I'm sweating. Okay. Sorry. The one tattoo on her back usually gets covered by her hair, so you can't see any tattoos. I'm sorry, woof woof style. I need to... Oh god. Anyway. I'm fine. I'm kind of freaking out. Sorry. I'm fine, okay? It wasn't that funny. Jeez. Okay, I need to stop crying. I'm a professional. I'm kind of freaking out, as I mentioned. My favourite parts of her body are the ones with no tattoos on them, that being the back and her waist. The tattoo she's getting is going to go from her arm, down her side and down the leg, which means it will be pretty much impossible to not see. I'm really ashamed to say I'm afraid I won't be as attracted to her when she does it. I'm afraid to even bring it up because she has horrible body image issues, and I'm scared she would be really affected if I said I'm worried about her getting the tattoo. I also know with the way things are going, her becoming a tattoo artist and such, she's going to get more. I deleted the pictures this morning. They gave me... I'm not even going to read that. Alright? I'm not even going to... I'm not reading it. This whole thing is a bit of a hot mess because I do understand from his point of view, you know? Sometimes tattoos are just not for everybody, and, you know, he's gone from being able to, I guess, accept them or just deal with them or what have you, to now realizing that, hey, actually, tattoos are not for me. And this is probably a sucky way of finding out. I mean, the only red flag for me is the whole photoshopping thing. Why? I just personally don't understand it. I wouldn't, you know, Photoshop anybody without their permission at least. So does the girlfriend know about this? Who knows? But this person is very much allowed to have preferences. We all have them, whether we want to admit them or not. You know, I've just read through a couple of the comments down here to see what the consensus is. And there was a couple of comments talking about beards. You know, like some women freak out when their partner shaves off their beard or their facial hair and they look like incredibly younger, or they just look very, very different. And some people that don't like when their partners shave or what have you kind of request their partners to not do that. They'll just be like, oh no, it's really weird when you do that, I don't like it. Which again, that's, you know, something that happens all the time. So I guess to take away double standards, I guess this man is very much allowed to say, hey, like, I just don't like tattoos anymore. But whether this girlfriend chooses to get more tattoos or not is completely up to her. She shouldn't stop getting tattoos because her other half doesn't like it. It's just the same when someone shaves off their facial hair, you know, like they're allowed to do it. And yeah, your partner might not like it, but at the end of the day, it's your body, your choice. But I will say it sucks to be this person who's in a relationship with a tattoo artist because yeah, more tattoos are coming. So you either have to learn to live with it or you just gotta, I don't know, break up. I don't know. Like, what do you do in this situation? Do you break up with someone because they've got tattoos? But then if that's the case, then this girlfriend has pretty much dodged a bullet, you know? Because imagine if they get married and then it's like another 5-10 years down the line and then the boyfriend ends up being incredibly miserable and then it's a long, painful divorce or there's cheating involved because freaking Mr. Woof Woof style over here can't keep it in his pants when it comes to non-tattooed women, you know? Like, maybe it might just be time to call it quits, but then that's so stupid to end a relationship over tattoos. I don't know. Okay, the next one is, today I fucked up by almost getting killed because of my brand new and first ever tattoo. How? I'm excited to read this one, but kind of scared at the same time. It all began 5 days ago. I have always wanted a tattoo. Many of my closest friends have several and are quite into tattoo culture, and so it was encouraged. I figured it was to be the first of many, so I may as well go big or go home and place it on my hand for all the world to see. Not the hand as a first tattoo placement, honey. Oh God, I will always say, just, if you want my advice, don't go for the hand for a first tattoo. Just don't do it. Despite people's warning about hand tattoos being job killers, I figured life is short and it's my body, I'll do what I please. Which I guess at the end of the day, that is true. I wanted to go to a reputable artist and use a design made by one of my closest friends. I finally got the appointment scheduled and finally the day came. I got to the studio and things seemed laid back. The artist made a beautiful piece based on the reference art. He did cough on me during the middle of it, which annoyed me, but otherwise it was nice. The work come out gorgeous. He gave the aftercare instructions, I paid and tipped him, and I went on my way to care for my new body art. I was meticulous about aftercare and followed his advice as close to the latter as I could. The next day it was fairly swollen, but my skin can be a bit sensitive, so my friends told me some swelling is normal. Cool, which is true. Some swelling is normal, especially for me. Jesus, I swell up so much. The following day, it is even more puffy, red, and quite painful. And the drainage from under the wrapping is grey and sort of smelled foul, almost like if you've ever been to a vet's office and you smell a sick old dying dog. That smell. Amazing, now it's infected. I have never smelled that smell before. That's so oddly specific. The hell? But I've never had a tattoo that smells like that. Like, when you sometimes take off the wrapping after a couple of hours, it kind of sometimes smells a bit like vinegary. But it's kind of like trapped sweat and stuff, I think. I don't know. So I scheduled an appointment with my doctor and she got me in that morning. She took a sample to send to a lab and sent me home with antibiotics. I don't love the side effects of antibiotics and hate my hand feeling like a cat-sized honeybee just stung it, but at least it will be under control now. I picked up the meds and drove home, cleaned and wrapped the hand and laid in bed because I was weirdly exhausted. Must have been the eventful morning. Oh, that's not good. No less than an hour goes by and I can't stop shaking. I feel like I'm in a freezer. I take my temperature and it's 38 degrees or 100.4 Fahrenheit. Fuck. Low grade fever, chills, swollen and painful hand and smelly discharge. I drive to the hospital and the waiting room is packed. Hospitals here have been flooded with COVID patients recently and my state is among the worst case-wise at the moment. I get in and figure it'll take a bit, but I get the process started. I say my symptoms and I take a seat in the waiting room. Less than 1 minute goes by and they call me up to take my vitals. The nurse stared at the monitor for far too long. for my comfort and then disappeared to another room to converse with her co-workers. Next thing I know, there are 4 nurses, techs, PAs in the room. They take blood work and I hear one of the nurse practitioners telling someone with a fair bit of urgency in her voice that she needs the only remaining room in the hospital at the moment for a patient. She comes back in and says she got me a room. Oh my god, that would send my anxiety through the roof. Fuck, this must be bad. They get me back and hook me up to a bunch of equipment and get me started on an IV drip along with several bags of various drugs. They tell me that my fever is now 39.3 degrees, which is 102.7 Fahrenheit. My pulse rate was around 160 beats per minute and my blood pressure was 87/42. At this point, I felt tired and like I just wanted to sleep, but I was afraid and cried until I couldn't anymore. Oh god. Nighttime was rough, really rough. COVID strictly limited visitors and it was last visitation hours anyway. I felt so alone, the pain, the chills, the sweat, the fear. I spent the next 3 days in the hospital battling sepsis. Turns out staff got into my tattoo wound based on the timing, likely from the studio. I now have to spend the next week on a few pretty rough antibiotics and worrying about relapse. One of the nurses told me that I was lucky I came in when I did, because if I had waited another few hours or just have not been young and healthy, I probably wouldn't have been typing this. Worst of all, a lot of the colouring got pushed out from the swelling and trauma from the cellulitis. I'm not sure that I have the nerves for a touch-up anytime soon though. I wouldn't either. I would be terrified, like dead ass, so scared of being tattooed again. I have moderate health anxiety, like hospitals and what have you scare me. Doctors' offices are not fun for me, and blood tests, I've discussed that before. I don't like blood tests whatsoever, and just anything medical, it just freaks me out a little bit, and having to go through all of this would put so much fear in me. Legit, sepsis is one of my biggest fears because I have seen and heard so many horror stories, and this is why I'm so over the top when it comes to tattoo infections and making sure everyone is aware that, you know, you can get a tattoo infection and you can get sepsis from it and you could possibly die from it. It's all very extreme and it is incredibly rare for it to happen, but as we can tell here, it does happen. This is why I'll always preach safety when it comes to getting tattooed. And you are at more risk if you tattoo yourself or go to a random person's house or get tattooed in a kitchen or in a shed or a garage or wherever. You're definitely more at risk there. But this can also happen if you go to a professional and go to a nice tattoo studio, one that has a good reputation. You know, the risks are there always, and people never take it seriously, and people are so flippant about tattooing. And for why, I honestly don't know. Today I fucked up by booking a tattoo appointment after getting my first tattoo. I just got my first tattoo and I'm loving it. I love the experience of the needle penetrating your skin, barely hurt. Come on now. I mean, if it's a small tattoo, then I get it. And if this person is younger, I also understand, because I used to be like, oh yeah, tattoos never hurt. I was young, I'm old now, they hurt like hell. Anyway, I love the satisfaction of getting a cool design permanently inked on your skin, so I immediately wanted a new one right away, despite the fact I'm in the process of healing this current tattoo and that I'm also travelling to a different country in a few days for 5 weeks, where it will make the healing process of a new tattoo very problematic. I found a cool artist and booked it for this Sunday, put down a $100 deposit. Now, regret started to kick in. First, it takes a long time to come up with a tattoo design that you would want permanently on your body, as well as researching the proper tattoo artist for this type of design you have in mind. I was being too impulsive. I didn't want to wait a few months for a good artist, so I chose a tattoo apprentice so that I can get a new one fast. But now that I'm thinking about it, it was such a stupid idea. I haven't come up with a design yet, and I haven't done the proper research to find the right artist, and I'm also feeling like I might not want a second tattoo anymore, so now I can't get my $100 deposit back, and I'll most likely have to go through with this so that I don't waste the $100. Huge regret and mistake. Yeah, okay, if you don't go ahead with the tattoo, then you're wasting $100, but if you go ahead and get the tattoo, you still have to spend more money. Does that make sense? Like, I'm like girl mathing it right now, but like, yeah, okay, you lose the $100, but then you might have to spend an extra $100 on top of that for this tattoo that you don't actually really want. You may as well just cut your losses and just lose the $100, or message this artist and be like, hey, like, I'm so sorry, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna have to cancel the appointment and see if they can maybe give you back the deposit if you're in the time frame, because some tattoo artists will refund your deposit if you message them to cancel within a certain amount of time. If you're 48 hours before the tattoo, you're probably not going to get your money back, but hey, don't ask, don't get at the end of the day. There's no point of getting a tattoo for the sake of it, you know? Like, it's just so stupid. Okay, I'm gonna read one more for this video, and this is, today I fucked up by getting so many tattoos I nearly died and yelled at a man to get out of the men's room. What? This sounds like a roller coaster. I'm so here for it. Pre-plague. So that means pre-COVID, I guess. I went to Europe every year in the fall to collect tattoos. I live in California. In 2019, I had saved up the most I ever had and took off an entire month for these travels. I had booked 8 tattoo sessions. Oh my god. I can't imagine being tattooed 8 times in a month. Like, that's insane. Now, these aren't your usual tattoo sessions that last 3 to 6 hours. I generally collect photorealistic tattoos. Oh no, that's big, long sessions. These tattoos are, in my opinion, pretty brutal, and I sit between 7 to 12 hour sessions, sometimes back to back. I couldn't. I just could not. There is no way. Even when I was younger, and, you know, I could sit for hours and be tattooed and I didn't find them that painful, I still think I would have a limit and would not be able to do this. Please share your most gnarliest tattoo stories. Like, have you been tattooed back to back, like day after day, long sessions? Or like, what is the longest session you have ever had? I think mine's 8 hours. I think. Just around about 8 hours. There's no way I could do more than that. So long story short, I'm an idiot and that many tattoos could literally kill me. So after the halfway point, I got super sick. I'm not surprised. I kept passing out during one session at a convention with my favourite artist, surrounded by other favourite artists of mine, with a huge crowd watching me and blaming my artist for killing me. Oh, I would be dying of embarrassment, but that is pretty much this person's body being like, I give up. I give up. You've got to stop. He was pretty mad I did this. I mean, yeah, I would be too, to be honest, because, like, you know, if a client faints once or twice, then all right, whatever. But if you're gonna keep doing it, like, just get off and go home, you know? I was mad at myself for my ignorance. I had no idea you could get really sick from too much tattooing. Basically, I refused the hospital this time, got an early flight with barely enough energy to not pass out, and spent the next 2 weeks recovering and cancelling tattoos with artists I was really hoping to collect from on the trip, losing my deposits in the process. Oh, I could barely function while I chilled in Paris. Just drop that in there. I've just been chilling in Paris, you know, I might be dying, but I was in Paris, honey. Yes. Taking something like 5 days before I could walk around more than just a couple of hours. It was still a rad trip, but nearly killing myself was not on the itinerary. Final insult to injury. My last tattoo was a hand cover up, and by this point I was so out of my mind I didn't properly take care of the tattoo, and the next day I could tell it was infected. My last 2 brain cells are trying to get us home through the airports, and I stumble into the washroom. I look up and there's a man in the restroom. I say loudly, "What are you doing in here?" And he says, "What are you doing in the men's room?" I died right there, but honestly I felt only mild embarrassment because I could barely function. I got off the plane in Cali after 9 hours and went straight to the ER for antibiotics. Oh yeah, I feel like this is a lesson to everybody. I think this is a very, very, very rare story. I've never heard of anyone going to Europe or going to somewhere else in the world to be tattooed non-stop within a month or however long it was. Just don't do that. 1 or 2 tattoos, maybe 3. You know, 1 a week or 1 every so often if they're small. Sure, fine, whatever, but big, long tattoo sessions again and again and again and again, including a cover-up on the hand. No. You're asking for disaster, okay? Your body cannot hack it because your body goes through so dang much when you get tattooed. It's exhausting. Your immune system is like, hang on a second, there's something going on here, there's trauma, and it fucking fights for its life. And imagine doing that, like, every day. Oh no. Okay, my darlings, that is it for today's video. I just want to say thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me today. I appreciate you all so much, and until my next video, stay safe, stay well, and yeah, bye.